This is Isaiah Cassidy. I'm Mark Quinn, and we're Private Party.
And you're listening to the All Elite Podcast.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the All Elite Podcast, right here in the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I'm your host of the All Elite Podcast, your self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and I'm always joined by my co-host. She is the EVP of Giggles, the Queen of the Indies herself, Tiffany. What's going on, Tiff?
Private party, forget it. We're
Hold
changing
up.
the episode to private party, everything.
So, but I like All Elite Podcast. It's definitely never used.
No.
It's definitely
No.
it's definitely an original name. It's so original.
Everything.
Oh, private party, everything.
Everything.
Right. I don't know how well that's going to go over, but I know you're excited because of last night's episode of Dynamite.
Right.
Episode number 2. Already kicking off again with another great episode this week. I definitely enjoyed it. There was some things that I nitpicked a little bit. I know it's going to happen with All Elite Wrestling is not completely perfect as much as people want to make it out to be, but I have my notes here. I had to catch it late last night. Unfortunately, I had some prior commitments, but I watched it late. I stayed up till about maybe 3 a.m. doing notes. That's why I got my Tim Hortons coffee. Tim Hortons coffee. Start your day off well with a Tim Hortons coffee. Hopefully we get a sponsorship soon.
Wait, I'm here. Like, we had that, like, crappy Tim Hortons by my house.
Yeah, maybe have a cup of Canadian Tim Hortons since we know actually how to make coffee up here. Anywho, guys, welcome to episode number 47, your official AEW Dynamite review and recap show. We're doing this every single week for you guys. Going over the week of AEW with Dynamite being last night live from Boston. I actually got corrected, Tiff. We actually had someone comment from Boston in last episode. Thank you very much on how to do some proper pronunciations. Thank you very much. I will slowly learn to do that. So next time that they come to I'll say it the way I say it, Boston. The next time they come to Boston, will be a perfectionist in the lingo of Bostonians. Is that what they call them? Are they Bostonians? I'm not sure.
Trying way too hard.
I know. I'm trying way too hard. And I actually realized I got my headphones on backwards. One sec.
Oh, boy.
There we go. I thought they felt weird. Anyways, last night, interesting episode. We finally got a name. We actually got a name for Jericho's new group. I'm a fan. Actually, I'm a bigger fan of their T-shirt rather than the name. I actually might pick one up while we're in Baltimore for full gear. That's for sure. But to get my full reaction, Tiff, of last night's episode, I can only give it to everybody in the video version. So if you're watching or listening on the audio version, you have to tune back into this part. Here's my reaction to last night's AEW from Boston.
Sorry, you cannot be on the list of husbands because I know Orange Cassidy is number 2.
That's fine.
Right,
I'm just giving my reaction. There you go.
It's not happening.
That's my reaction to last night's AEW Boston.
That's pretty awesome.
It was good. It was good. It was a good episode.
Very good.
I really enjoyed it. I got my notes here. So we even started out with a big bang, and that's why Tiff is all excited about Private Party. She's going crazy. You even seen her tweeting this morning. She's going nuts this morning about it.
I was going nuts last night, so I legit was flipping out in my apartment, like screaming. Nobody was here. It was just me and the dog. So, he's right.
I'm sure Duffy appreciated it.
Duffy, did you appreciate it? Let's ask him.
Oh no. Oh, there he goes. Anywho, guys, welcome to the All Elite Podcast, where myself and Tiffany go over everything in the AEW world, giving you reviews and predictions such as this. We preview the AEW shows each and every single week, so we previewed last night's episode before. We've done interviews before on this podcast with Brandon Cutler from AEW, Rick Knox, Maria Ling, who's the one behind the BT outro. So a lot of cool stuff here on this podcast, so thank you for tuning back in. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to the All Elite Podcast. You're going to have fun here. We like to have fun on this episode instead of, just us sitting here and monotoning and just kind of reading script each and every line. But as you can see, Tiff cares about her dog more than the podcast.
Look at him. He's just like hanging out. He's being a pest right now. I'm podcasting. I'm sorry.
He's trying to be the new mascot.
Yes.
He's tired of...
Where is our mascot?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Where's he been?
Where you go, Fat Pharaoh?
Oh, there he is. Fat Pharaoh, the official mascot of AEW. How has he been?
How you been, Fat Pharaoh? He's been good. He's just been hanging out. He's been slacking.
Is he enjoying some Dynamite?
Dynamite. Did you enjoy Dynamite last night? See?
Okay. Well,
he enjoyed it. He enjoyed it.
I think he's feeling a little bit of jealousy of the other Pharaoh you bought. I think that's probably it. He's been, ever since you got the new Pharaoh, he's been like MIA.
Well, we can get him out of here.
Oof. Hey.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to fit. Maybe.
No, he's not going to fit.
Not going to fit. He's too fat.
With a PH.
Go to the gym.
There you go. Anywho, guys. Yes, to the show. Let's go over last night's episode. Not gonna do any Being the Elite review today since there wasn't any. Not a lot of news and rumors either. I kind of checked it out. Nothing really. So just gonna go over last night's show, and that'll probably wrap it up for you guys. But before we go anywhere, really, really quickly, because I know we got to get these fast out of the way, just make sure you follow us on social media, guys. All Elite Podcast on Facebook, All Elite Pod on Instagram, and All Elite Pod on Twitter. And most importantly, we are so close. Actually, we're getting so close to 50 more subscribers to our goal of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Please share us, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Get us to our goal of 1,000. We're in a competition with the Kenny for Your Thoughts podcast and Smart to Death to race to 1,000 subscribers. Get us there. Win us our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Also, guys, like I said just recently, you can listen to us on the go. A lot of different platforms you can catch us on, like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, CastBox, to name a few. So if you like to listen to us on the go, we are available everywhere for you. Also, want to give a special thanks to These Wolves. They are the official band behind the theme song Dead to Me. It's awesome song, guys. They're an awesome band. Go check them out. They provide me with this new poster here. I still got to readjust it in the screen here, but for today, that's good enough. Thank you very much to them. And I also want to give them a special shout out because most importantly, they are lending us another song for our other show on the network called Under the Ropes, which will be live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We are interviewing independent wrestler Joey Silver on that episode. And they have actually lent us another song to use as a theme song for Under the Rope. So, These Wolves, thank you very much. Really do appreciate both songs that you've let us use here. Really, really do appreciate it. So, you guys, they had their social media links there in the picture, and I have their links down below in the description box below. But without further ado, wasting enough time here, let's get into AEW Boston. From the, again, even JR had a rough time saying the arena name last night in the beginning, I noticed, man. See, it's not just me.
Yeah.
See, JR even had problems doing it. So it's the Aganis, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is, Aganis arena. That arena in Boston they were at last night. Interesting arena. Very, again, smaller venue than we saw last week. From now on, they're going to be going to these like college-sized venues, which is pretty cool. I mean, it still looked cool last night. It still looked really well, and it's almost like the sound kind of sounds a little bit better too because you're more compact, I guess, and there's maybe obviously not as loud because there's not as much people, but it was sold out last night. I thought it was pretty good, and I thought I'm liking these college atmosphere arenas. You can definitely see the demographic it's bringing in. I saw a lot of tweets from accounts last night from the arena that it was a lot of 18 to 40-year-old demographic in the crowd. And that's what they're aiming at, and that's great. That's what we're looking. That's what their goal is in AEW, is to aim at that demographic. So, which is good. You're going to get most of those demographics in those college arenas too. You're going to get the college people that are, you know, in that area that want to go check out some wrestling too to buy tickets and go check it out. So I think it's a really cool idea. So we'll start off hot here. Start off hot.
Yes. Oof.
And we'll start off when we start off with the round 1 matchup in the tag team tournament. We had the Young Bucks versus Private Party. Man, the crowd was hot at the beginning tonight.
Their intro, how they got that ring, I love it.
Tony Schiavone mentioned. We certainly debuted last week.
Almost before this match with Private Party, and then you had the security, like give up time to the cameramen, they were talking about, you know, drinking water.
Yeah,
combined weight of 24 ounces of head
it was definitely a dynamite card tonight. It started off hot. I love the promo package they played beforehand as well, highlighting the Private Party and the three together. And like their entrance with the bouncer and fist bumping the bouncer is pretty cool. The crowd was very behind, obviously, the Young Bucks as they should be, but then they were also very behind Private Party.
It was tough to read into. Jack Evans and that Helico, very experienced team, so you can guarantee they're coming in here tonight.
It was a very good match. Even in the beginning, it was a very, very good match.
The winners advance.
JR mentioned. I loved how the one part JR was mentioning. He's like, it's awesome that AEW cares about the wins and losses. Now they matter here. And JR
it's
mentioned
classic
that
East Coast versus West Coast in many ways. They trained at House of Glory Wrestling School, and they've made their way up. And headlock takeover.
What's that?
There's sound for the things being
Nick Jackson.
Oh no, I've muted that. Oh, see, I muted all the other ones. I apologize again. Botchamania here. Here we go. I haven't brought this out in a while. Shame.
Thank you.
Our
Brad.
listeners on the go are just like, what the hell's going on with these guys? I'll get it together, folks. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord.
Anyways, it'll be good for the rest because I muted all the other ones. I know for sure. Anyway, I was saying, awesome. Crowd was hot for both teams. Private Party's over. Yada, yada, yada. That's what we were talking about. And then into the match. Like, good, like, very, very hot start to the match. Isaiah Cassidy got a lot of offense in the beginning of the match. Like, he looked very, very good. Even Mark Quinn. Like, even when Mark Quinn finally got the tag, there was a part where he was doing all those jumping outside dives. He did about 4 or 5 in a row, and the crowd got so hot behind that. Like, it was crazy. But, man, I go back to what I was just saying when JR pointed out that the wins and losses matter in AEW. I love that they highlight that detail, even for people watching at home. So I thought it was pretty cool that they did that.
It's just crazy. If you haven't seen, like, Private Party in person, it's so special. I mean, it's just so insane. His dives and his flips and, oh, my God. Like, I've seen it offhand so many times. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. I'm telling you. First tag team champions here. I'm
bold prediction, Tiff.
I know. I don't care what anybody says. I'm rooting for them. Sorry, I'm still sticking with them versus SCU in the end. But where was the spot where Nick got a bloody nose? Like, I'm trying to like.
I think I was trying to remember too. It must so much was going on. There's a lot of spots where like there was move after move after move, and it's really hard to keep track of that. But I saw you knew he had a bloody nose when he went over to the rope and the camera zoomed in on his face. And then Jared's like, hey, this is not ballet, folks. You got a bloody nose. The classic JR.
Spitting the gum at Isaiah. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, this is crazy.
The Young Bucks did a good job generating some heat throughout the match and definitely did a good job putting Private Party over. Like, they did a very, very good job. But Young Bucks go and show you again that why they are the best tag team in the world. Like, they are so good. They're so innovative with the moves that they do. And then Private Party looks so good as well. Like I said, like Isaiah Cassidy right in the beginning looked really good. And then Mark Quinn finally getting tagged. And the Young Bucks are showing you how smart they are with their tag team, like preventing tags and all that jazz. It was a really, really good match. It was a really good match to get and the crowd was so hot for it. I
love like Isaiah was like blocking out all the super kicks.
Like, I was like, no, we know you guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so but it was sweet. And then the crowd was very, very hot for it. They were getting so into it. I think I told Tiff off there, I think it took a little bit out of the crowd throughout the event. But, I mean, it's good to start off hot like that. And then we got the one spot where we thought they were going to definitely win. They hit Gin and Juice, and then Mark Quinn hit that shooting star press, and I thought that was going to be it. I'm like, okay, they won, and then he kicked out. I'm like, oh no. And at that point, I was seriously going, okay, Young Bucks are winning this one. Right. It's going to be a very close finish, but Young Bucks are winning. Then they're about to hit the Meltzer driver, and Isaiah Cassidy's able to
pull Nick
off the apron after. Yeah, it's literally what happened. It was a role reversal.
It was crazy.
And then Mark Quinn's able to roll up. Was it Matt in the ring, and is able to get the 1, 2, 3, and in shocking fashion and underdog fashion, as the commentators mentioned, Private Party defeats Young Bucks in the first round. And me and Tiff were going about this in the preview show. They're like, we were predicting that LAX was going to interfere to cost the Young Bucks their match. And no, we got a clean, just miscommunication by the Bucks ending. Like that again, and I ever said in that preview show, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Young Bucks put over Private Party in a clean fashion just to make sure, just to put them over for that fact. And they did, and oh my God.
They're that good. I'm telling you. And them celebrating outside, jumping into the crowd. It was great.
Yeah.
Girl in the chat says, gotta admit, after hearing how much the match was at House of Glory, I'm so glad that it lived up to the expectation. I told you guys. Mm-hmm. I was there. I told you. Special. Amazing. I'm going to forever put over Private Party. Yeah. So, no matter what. So.
It was good. Very, very good opening to the show. I very, very much enjoyed it. We moved on into a promo. So we had an in-ring promo. I was wondering if they were ever going to do some of these, because I know they wanted to focus more on wrestling, and it's going to be less crap and more wrestling. And regardless of what people think of that, this was a really good promo. And we finally got a name. So Jericho comes out with his new faction with Jake Hager. And if anyone caught it, JR actually said Jack at first, and he kind of stopped himself.
I mean, it's got to be kind of hard. You're used to working
I did it. I even wrote Jack Hager.
You did.
But this was pretty cool. I love the entrance. I love what Jericho was wearing. Everyone looked good. Sammy Guevara going for like a different style too, again, like shedding the panda stuff and more of like a leather jacket. I'm a badass heel faction group kind of look. What's making me laugh in this one, I think it was who's the shorter one out of the LAX? Who's Ortiz with his tongue the whole time, driving me nuts. I'm like, can you put your tongue in your mouth, sir? Like, stop it.
Like the same thing as well, but
he does it more like douchebag kind of way. Yeah, Ortiz is just like just doing it like, I'm gonna cut you. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between those two.
I know. It was like, I was rewatching it this morning, and I'm like, damn, like, put your tongue away. Like, I'm focusing.
That's what I've been focusing on. I was trying to, like, watch Jericho, but I'm like, what is he doing over there? Anyway, so Jericho kind of cuts a promo on AEW and how it's all successful it's been. He says it's all because of him. And then we got, like, the thank you Jericho chants. And then he started like introducing his faction, going over to Sammy. Look at this guy. He used our word. He's sexy. I think Jericho's watching our podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hey, you can use that word. Go ahead. Anyways, then he goes over the Ortiz and Santana, saying they're basically like, these guys are rabid pit bulls, and I love it. And then he gets to Jake Hager, and he calls him Jake Hagar. And then he's like going over him, and while he's doing it, the crowd starts chanting "We the People," and Jericho does the best thing ever, and he just shuts the crowd up and buries the "We the People" chant. Just says like, that's enough of that. He's like, what do you say? He was like, it was a stupid idea from stupid creative, and that's done and over with. We're on to better things.
He said it's dead and buried.
Yeah.
With bad creative.
Just throwing a big shot to the horrible WWE creative, and I love it. The crowd even ate it up and gave him a standing ovation.
He's just that good with promos.
Yeah, and this was all unscripted. Guys, this is all unscripted. I think he's better at unscripted promos than he was with scripted promos. And then he reveals the team name. So we get they're called the Inner Circle. This is his inner circle. So interesting name. I know a lot of people had mixed reactions. I love the T-shirt. I think the T-shirt was really cool. They fired on that one because they're wearing them in the main event.
It crashed the pro wrestling store site.
What?
I know you were at work or whatever, but yeah, they announced it, and then Pro Wrestling Tees went down instantly. Like, you couldn't get on the website to buy it.
Well, we know what's going to be the best-selling tee right now, and that's going to be the Inner Circle shirt.
Sorry, Nick. Sorry about your shirt.
Man, if they continue trending like this and this group gets more popular, it's going to be like another Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Like it's the Inner Circle is gonna go trend. It's just like his bubbly T-shirt. Like everyone's wearing a bubbly T-shirt. Jericho just trend sets, man. He's that guy. Then he starts going deep in his promos, and he cuts a promo on Cody, even saying like he hates his dad, and he calls his dad a name, and he says, I just like, oh man, he's going far out here. Like even the crowd was like, ooh, like he went deep, and then brought up Dusty Rhodes and made fun of his brother too, and basically ends off the promo. He's like, I have Full Gear, I'm going to beat the living shit out of you, and then drops the mic, and then that's the end of the promo. So I thought it was a really good promo. Definitely to the new viewers to get to know this new faction that's being built and together. Jericho like going over to like each. He's like, I love how he describe who each one of them are. Like Sammy Guevara, the young up and coming talent, and Jericho loves
Spanish God.
Yeah,
Spanish God.
Spanish God.
I don't know if you saw the tweet, but Sammy did put a tweet saying to Justin Roberts that
to call him one.
Yeah, he has to like say that he's the Spanish God when he announced him going forward.
And he was going like the LAX tag team, that they're one of the best tag teams in the world, and they're pit bulls and they're rabid, and he's going over Jack Hager's undefeated MMA streak, and he's the most feared MMA star, like building him up. Like it was really, really well done. So I thought it did what it needed to do, and we have the Inner Circle, guys. Well, looks like we're gonna have to go with it. I mean, I don't mind the name, not as much as people like care out there, but you know, I'm with it.
It's catchy.
You think it's what?
It's catchy.
I thought you said it's patchy. I'm like, what's patchy? It's such a patchy name.
It's catchy.
Yeah, Inner Circle.
Jeez.
Patchy. Anyways, we moved on. We had a match. Jimmy Havoc versus Darby Allin. Number one contenders match for the AEW World Championship for next week in Philadelphia. I love the cool promo we had beforehand.
But guess what?
Again,
I like the pain.
This is another thing done to get
tonight.
People that don't know anything about him.
I become number one world championship. And
we had Darby's promo.
Feel my pain.
But getting to know Jimmy Havoc more, I loved his promo saying,
a lot of it,
going over his like 15-year career and how he's gone through so much pain. But he's like, I love
And it's important.
the pain. I live for it. Now Darby, you're gonna feel my pain.
Here in All Elite Wrestling.
This is literally
he has resonated 20-minute
I mean, I thought it was a really good job. I thought this is Jimmy Havoc.
It was
people that don't know Jimmy Havoc. This is
extremely innovative offense, and his like that coffin drop that he went for.
Your stuff.
But we saw him hit the.
I muted that one.
Well, apparently not.
That's not fair. I muted that one. That's not fair. Okay, I muted that one when I was doing the video editing. Come on. Oh. I'm done. I'm going. We're done with this podcast. Bye-bye. No. I muted that one. I swear to God. I even remember doing it in the video editing this morning. Why is it doing that? Okay, all I said, summarize. I went over how good of a promo Jimmy Havoc was in the beginning. And it's going to teach new people about Jimmy Havoc. There you go. We'll go into the match here. Darby got a better response, I think. Obviously, Darby's pretty over right now. And I was interested to see how this match would play out hardcore-wise, because both these guys are literally live for that hardcore style of wrestling. It was more physical than hardcore using weapons. Like, there's a lot of biting involved from Jimmy Havoc, him bending the rules almost every time. There's that one suplex spot where he suplexed him onto the outside, and she landed straight on his side, which looked painful as all hell. So yeah, it was more like in-ring stuff that was bending of the rules more than anything. And the referee, even JR's like, why is the referee letting this go so far? Like, Jimmy Havoc on like multiple occasions started biting every limb off of Darby Allin.
So crazy. I'm so hyped.
Anywho, I'm trying to remember what else happened. Actually, I have my notes here. What am I doing? Havoc got the definitely got the better of Darby throughout the match. That's what I know they went with the Darby going over here, but I think they did a good job of getting Havoc the better part of the match, so that the finish didn't look too weak on him. Like, he controlled most of that match, and then it was not till the end where Darby was able to fight back, and eventually he hits the coffin drop out of nowhere and wins and moves on, and will face Jericho next week for the championship. So that's what I mean. I think it didn't. If they came out of the gate and Darby just dominated Jimmy the whole match. Right. And Jimmy maybe got a little bit of offense and that's it, it would have kind of looked like a squash match. But the fact that they gave Jimmy the most of the advantage throughout the whole match, and it was Darby coming back at the end, I think did a good job leaving both guys looking strong and not leaving anyone looking weak. So
it's so crazy. Like, the time just like flew watching this. Like, I looked at the clock and I was like, damn, like we already had, one match, and then we had our promo a little bit, and then we went into this match, and it was like 9 o'clock, and I'm like, damn, like.
It was good. I thought it was a decent match. I mean, the crowd, you could tell the crowd was a little bit dead for it just from the opening contest already and the Inner Circle promo. But I think it was really good. And again, like I said, it was a good way to make Jimmy Havoc still look strong after this. And next week, we're getting Darby Allin versus Jericho for the AEW World Championship. Can you, that's insane.
Oh my God. Can I let go?
Like Darby getting a championship match. Like that says a lot in how much faith they have in him. So. Well,
Cody put out that tweet that they were like, why Darby was his first match, and he said that he was like hungry enough. So, and he's so over. And I told you months ago this guy was going to be huge. I was so excited when he signed with AEW. So I'm stoked for this match. Let's go. Take my money.
That's not the last we'll see of Darby. We'll get to that later.
No.
Next we had the women's tag match, and it was B. Priestley and Emi Sakura versus Britt Baker and Riho. And I'm looking at my levels now. The sound is not on, so I know I muted this one. But Emi Sakura, who is actually the coach and trainer of Riho, with her whole career, so that was pretty cool. I thought that they mentioned that. And newly crowned champion Riho, newly crowned world champion, again the belts. Really weird on Riho. They literally fastened that thing. Riho is so skinny that they fastened that thing all the way to the last knob. Like, I've never seen that before with a wrestler. That's nuts to me. Like, she was even wearing her jacket. She is so thin that thing went all the way to the last knob. But it's cool that they're continuing this thing with Britt Baker and B. Priestley.
How did you feel about this match? I wasn't as excited as the other matches.
I thought it would be a pretty good dark match. I think that the fact that they put it on TV, because I think the point here is A, to showcase Riho, but B, the main part is that they have a lot of faith in this feud between B and Britt Baker. And I think
probably going to be full gear.
This is, I think, going to be one of those talked about feuds in the later years of AEW. Be like, oh, what's the best women's feud ever? And be like, B. Priestley and Britt Baker. Just like how people, Trish and Lita as a known rivalry that in WWE in the women's division.
A lot of credit.
So I think that's what they're trying to go for. I think that they're going to B. Priestley and Britt Baker's rivalry is going to last a very long time. But this is going to be one that's going to be focused on a long time, because it's been going ever since was it Fight for the Fallen?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Brad told me that we're supposed to skip this match because it wasn't that good.
I mean, it's not, again, matches could not be everyone's cup of tea. I know some people that enjoyed this match. I didn't mind this match.
Right.
I know it's hard to get into it. I know Emi Sakura is no one really knows about her, and obviously it looks weird that she's like this Freddie Mercury gimmick. And obviously she's probably a huge fan of Queen and Freddie Mercury, so she played it into a wrestling gimmick. But I think the main part of this match and the main job of this match was to further the feud between Britt Baker and B. Priestley.
I love B. Priestley. I want more of her. Yeah. Give me more.
You saw when she first got tagged into the match, She didn't even go after Riho. She straight went for Britt, who wasn't even tagged in, and they just started brawling on the outside. So again, they're making the point of this was to further the feud with B and Britt. That was the purpose of this whole match. I thought it was a decent ending. I know it was very lackluster, but Baker is able to hit that submission, and she ties your teeth into it. I know, like, it's whole gimmick thing. She's like a mandible claw and rips the teeth down.
I was trying to find out the name for that submission.
I think it's called isn't it called the Novocaine?
Is it?
She calls it the Novocaine.
Like, I was trying to figure it out yesterday and with Connor, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was looking all over. So if you know the name, let me know.
I'm almost certain it's called the Novocaine. I could be wrong.
It's pretty interesting. Like, it really is an interesting submission.
So again, Priestley even goes after Britt after the match. Again, they're highlighting that. Even Riho and Aubrey were trying to hold her back. And they made a good job of Priestley looking very, like, fired up after this match. Like, she was just, like, pushing. She even pushed Aubrey. Aubrey's like, hey, no, you go to the back.
She don't take no shit.
She don't take no shit.
Okay?
No.
She don't take any shit from anybody.
And then that's what we're left off here. So, again, this is, I think, is a feud that's going to be carried over the years. They're going to make a point of it going forward. And I love the whole thing we had now in between this and the Shawn Spears and Moxley match. We had a little bit of a best friends, the hug video, and then it shows them in the crowd with the interviewer watching the video. And the interview, I think, asked them about, like, their tag team tournament and you know, how do they feel about being in it. And they're like, don't let us tell you how we feel. Let him
oh my God.
tell you how we feel. And it's Orange Cassidy just sitting there.
I was going nuts.
And gives us a whole thumbs up thing.
Love him. Oh
that was great. That was really exciting. I love that these three are together. They make a really good team. But then we transferred into we moved into the Moxley and Spears match, and I was so excited for this.
Yeah,
I was so pumped for this because obviously Spears is my boy from my hometown. I follow them again. I say this every time. I followed them for years. I'm glad I get to see him now in AEW and getting an actual serious shot at wrestling. You can see that. I mean, they have so much faith in this guy. It's ridiculous. And the whole pairing with Tully Blanchard is just gives it that much more meaning. He's got a tough test here against Jon Moxley, and Pac was actually on commentary for this.
I know.
I thought they weren't going to do stuff like this. That was one of my critiques because I hate. That's a big thing. That was one of my big sticklers when I was watching WWE. I hated when people were on commentary because it took out of the match because they're not even paying attention to the match. They're paying attention to what the wrestler is doing on commentary. And Pac was not even talking about anything in the match. He was just saying, like, oh, I'm out here because I'm not getting my title opportunities even though I'm 2-0 and all this stuff.
I don't get it. I just don't understand what's his point in this match.
He had no beef with any of them.
Right now, like, if this turns into a three-way at Full Gear, I'm going to be totally upset. I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see this. Like, maybe something like we'll see within the next couple of weeks, but I don't want to see this at Full Gear. Like,
No.
I don't want to see this.
People are even saying that maybe they add Shawn Spears and it's a fatal four-way match and they turned it into a number one contenders match.
Well, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, like, this is something, like, I wanted to see Omega and Moxley, and we were supposed to get that in Chicago, and I'm looking forward to this at Full Gear. I feel like it's going to take away if we're going to have a fatal four-way.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't want to see that. I just
don't like when people on commentary. I'm not a fan of that. So anyways, Pac was out there on commentary, again, complaining about being overlooked in AEW after all his victories. But the match itself, crazy right off the bat. Like, Moxley got into the ring. He's wearing his New Japan gear, too. That was one thing I found interesting. He wasn't wearing his... his shorts with no shirt. It's so weird. It's weird seeing him like that.
I like it. I like it.
I know, it's different. It's going to be something to get used to. I don't know if he's going to continue doing that or it's just like a one-off, but he, like, goes right in face-to-face with Spears right at the beginning of the match, and these guys just are quick and at it right in the beginning of the match. It looks like there's a lot of I guess Moxley's taking his Twitter beef pretty seriously there. Most of the beginning of the match was done on the outside, a lot of physical stuff. I know, even Tully got headbutted by accident at one point. I noticed that right in the beginning. But both these guys are just tearing each other apart outside the ring for the most of the beginning of the match. very, very hard knocks type of fight between these two. Less wrestling, more like just beating the crap out of each other. There was actually a crazy spot in the outside where Spears gave a flying fireman's carry to Moxley, like right onto the freaking barricade. And I'm like, oh man, that's gotta hurt.
Oh.
Even in the ring, there are a lot of good back and forth matchups going on. Spilled out to the outside maybe a couple of times. Love the ending. They're going rough at each other back and forth. Even him kicking out of Spears' finishing move. Tully trying to interfere, not working. And then Moxley's able to hit the paradigm shift, which he calls out of nowhere, and ends up winning the match against Shawn Spears. I know they have to make Moxley look strong, so this was, kind of Spears is playing. I know Spears is playing the sacrificial lamb. I know what it is, but again, it's another match where they don't make the person taking the pinfall look weak. Like Shawn kept up with Moxley throughout the entire match. Not like Moxley came out and just destroyed him. They made Spears look strong a lot in this match, and it's for a reason. It's because he's going to be a big part in AEW.
Right.
So.
But yeah, he needs a win. We need to get him. We need to get your boy a win
I know.
soon.
He looked good. He looked really, really good. I was really impressed out of both guys this match.
Do you think Tully's getting a little upset here, with these? I don't know. It's gonna cause problems somewhere along the line. Or Tully with Shawn
Tully.
Spears. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe eventually, if they're gonna do a whole babyface turn, he finally gets rid of Tully, something like that. I don't know what their plan is, but for now, I'm loving the pairing for both these guys. Omega comes out though, and what he's carrying made me laugh. He's coming out. He has a barbed wire bat. And then in his next hand, he has a barbed wire broomstick.
Well, he is the cleaner.
I know he's the cleaner. I was just like, what? I thought they were going to get the mop from last week.
Got to change it up.
Yeah.
Change it every week.
So he's looking straight at Moxley, and he throws him the barbed wire bat. He's like, come on, let's do this. Come on, let's go. And then out of nowhere, Pac comes from behind Omega and just literally crushes the edge of the chair into the back of the head of Omega, and then leaves him flat. Moxley's looking at him going, what the hell are you doing, man? What's going on? And just scaring the hell out of Pac. Pac even got scared and said, okay, I'm out of here. Bye. And then everyone was it was like half and half. Half the crowd was egging Moxley to hit the down Omega, and the other crowd was like, no, don't do it. Don't be that guy. And Moxley just throws the bat down on the ground at him and says, okay, and just kind of shakes his head like, I'll get you next time. And then walks away, and then that's the end of it. So,
yeah, he came out with Negan's bat from
Negan's bat.
Walking Dead. From Walking Dead.
So, yeah, we're getting more build up for him and Omega and Moxley for Full Gear.
This is how you build stories.
It looks
great.
It looks like this match is going to probably be a hardcore match of some sort of no disqualification match, because what they did last week and now this week with the barbed wire objects, it's pointing towards a no disqualification match in some sort. So we'll see what happens with that in the upcoming announcements in the upcoming weeks, or even on next week's show. Maybe we get an announcement of some sort. Yeah, it's weird how Pac's getting himself involved. I don't know if he's just getting himself involved for this week just to make a point. Like, he's not actually putting himself in the feud. He's just, making a point in attacking Omega because, it's one of the main focuses of AEW, and Pac's trying to get his name out there because he's not being, he's being overlooked. He's just inserting himself into a random feud. Maybe next week he inserts himself into another feud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's already got his wins, and he brought that up on commentary as well, that he's like, how many...
Why is he going after Omega? Why? He beat him. What's the point? It's not like Omega beat him. I understand if Omega beat him, but...
that feud's not going to end. It's going to happen again, but...
I don't know what to make of it. I guess we'll have to wait. Again, that's another cool part of AEW. It makes you want more, and you want to know more. You can't wait to see the next episode, so they're doing a good job of that. So, yeah. I liked it. I enjoyed that match very much. Very much. Yeah. Did you enjoy it, Tiff?
I enjoyed it. It was good.
Give me so. Give me more.
Give me more.
And then we'll move into the main event. And that was Dustin Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes and Hangman Page versus the inner circle of Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, wearing their new shirts, like I said. And I thought that was really fast. I'm like, that's damn, they already have a t-shirt. I like the t-shirts, actually. I might get one myself.
They started at 5 a.m. printing them, just so you know, today.
I don't know if the crowd was just really dead at this point, but Dustin barely got a reaction a little bit.
I don't know. Like,
it's really weird. I found it awkward. I'm like, ooh, is he just like, he's getting to that point where people are just like, you know, maybe you shouldn't be wrestling anymore. I hope not.
I don't think so.
I mean, obviously people respecting it, you know, giving him some sort of applause, but to me, it's just like, he didn't get the ovation I thought he was going to get. Hangman obviously did because it's Hangman Page. Yeah. Same with Jericho and Guevara. This was an interesting match. Very interesting match. I thought maybe it's definitely not as good as last week's main event. I thought last week's main event was a little bit better. This week, I don't know. It just the stuff I took from this match. Which actually, before we get into, actually, it was announced on broadcast that JR said that next week, actually, Riho is going to go one-on-one with Britt Baker, one-on-one for the title next week. So we got a women's title match next week. Yes. And Riho and Britt Baker are going to go one-on-one. So that was cool. But actually, the match itself for the main event, I thought there was just very good chemistry by Dustin and Hangman. Both these guys look like they fed off well of each other. There was a lot of chemistry with a lot of the moves they were pulling off. That was one thing I took from it. It was a good mix of fast-paced athleticism and old-school hard knocks type of wrestling throughout the match. There was twice that Jake Hager took advantage of the referee being distracted and hit and clothesline Hangman on the outside, which kind of put him out of commission. And then when the referee was being grabbed by Sammy Guevara, he came into the ring and clotheslined Dustin Rhodes, which led to Jericho hitting the Judas effect eventually for the win. I mean, I thought it was a good match. I don't think it was great, but I thought it was a decent match. I think most of it was to what was going to happen after the match.
What it needed to do.
That's what we got when the Inner Circle started beating down on Dustin, and Hangman finally wakes up and gets in there, and then it's him and Hager that actually go at it. And I don't know if that's pointing towards something. Maybe I think that's probably going to be Hangman's next feud, maybe with Jake Hager. Because they started fighting, they were brawling, but then they made their way all the way to the back. So to make a point of them going all the way back, that's you know, starting something, I think. So maybe Hangman and Hager is going to be the first feud, or they're going to eventually have a match.
I feel like we're going to have a 5-on-5 eventually, like within the next couple of weeks. So. And
then that left Jericho and Guevara in the ring, and the lights go out, and then the lights come back on, and Cody's there, and the crowd just explodes. He's in his suit.
I was just going to say, I love that he's in his suit.
Yeah. And then he hits Guevara with the crossroads while Jericho's not paying attention, and then that just leaving Jericho and him going one-on-one, and then they're about to square up, and then Santana and Ortiz come out, and they start attacking, and they come to save Jericho, and then the crowd explodes. I'm like, okay, who's coming out now? And it's MJF out of all people. And here we go. This spot right here, I loved. Okay, so they're holding down Cody on his knees, and they had Guevara and Santana and Ortiz. And, like, MJF's holding the chair, and then they look at each other like, hey, MJF, hit him. And then you can see they made point of zooming in on MJF's face where he's looking at Cody, and he's contemplating on actually doing it. And I'm like, this is another spot. We saw it. We saw a couple of weeks when he's holding the chair, and he's looking at Cody. Or was that an All Out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's holding the chair, and he's looking at Cody like he was going to do it.
Yeah.
This is another thing where he's looking right at Cody and he's holding the chair like he's contemplating on doing it, and then he stays loyal and starts attacking the Inner Circle with the chair, and then he starts gloating too much, and then Jericho hits him with the code breaker, and then the Young Bucks come out and I'm like, oh my god, what the hell is going on here? And the Young Bucks come out and they go after Santana and Ortiz, which I think maybe they're eventually going to have a match and then the Elite is in the ring. They're looking at Jericho. Jericho's escaping on his own with the title belt, and they're all looking at him on the ramp. And then it was so funny. The best part, Darby Allin comes out, and he skateboards himself down the ramp and clotheslines Jericho and starts attacking him.
I just want to watch that over and over and over again. It was beautiful.
That was
great.
God, that was so good. That was a good way to get the championship match next week some hype and to start some beef with Darby going after Jericho there. Like that was really cool. And that's how we ended off the show.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
So what was your match of the night?
Match of the night. My AW match of the night probably
Well,
was
why?
it's Private Party and Young Bucks.
Hands down,
Definitely.
Private Party!
With a close second of Spears and Moxley. But, God, that was such a good match. That's definitely a match of the night. But this is a good episode. Another decent episode of AEW. Again, they're building. There are so many things that happen in this episode I think people missed that they've built storylines for. So we've built like the whole Pac thing, Moxley and Moxley and Kenny Omega's been built. We had Santino and Ortiz and the Young Bucks, Darby and Jericho, B. Priestley and Britt Baker. Like, so much was built and started to build on this episode. This is definitely a foundation episode as well. The first couple weeks are going to be foundation episodes for further storylines. So
this is the time to introduce your significant other to wrestling. If they don't watch wrestling, I've seen like a couple of people put out tweets. I saw a friend of mine that he just got into a relationship with this girl, and he was like, I'm going to show my girl wrestling, and what's the better way to do it than take her to an AEW event? So he was at the event last night when his girl showed her wrestling. So but this is like the perfect timing because a lot of us do not know these guys, and this is the beginning to like explain who they are, where the story's going, because we're learning as well. So I'm stoked.
Yeah.
It
was awesome. It was a very, very good episode. Looking forward to next week in Pittsburgh or Britsburg. Britt Baker sure to have a huge reaction next week, getting a title shot against Riho. Man, I'm sitting here going, and I'm just thinking about this now. They don't have a title match set for Full Gear yet.
We don't really have many set for Full Gear yet. I think we're gonna get crowned our first tag team champs, right, at Full Gear.
I'm gonna put this. I got a hot take.
Okay, let's go.
What if Britt Baker wins the championship next week in Pittsburgh? What if Riho is just a you know what I mean? It's interesting.
Like a ploy, like just to get her over and then put Britt Baker, because that's what we all thought was gonna happen.
It's a hot take for sure. It's definitely. I know a lot of people say no, it's too early. You got to build Riho. If you want to build Riho, you got to keep her with the championship.
Yeah. Then I think definitely like B is gonna interfere somehow in this match next week, and it's just gonna. That's where we're gonna get.
Maybe that's what we'll get. Maybe it'll be a triple threat women's match. Maybe it'll be a triple threat women's match at
Full Gear. Ooh. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know. Leave your comments below. Let us know in the chat. Kylie, you did put a tweet out. I know we already know the name of our staple.
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna read like a couple of them because oh my god, we had so many. So I'm gonna randomly go through.
These were hilarious. Some of you guys out there that put the names or that put out names for this, hilarious. So we put out a tweet to say what.
Yeah, we want to know some good stable names for this new group. Comment down below, and we'll read some of them on our next podcast. So. Obviously, okay, Elite MJ said Alpha Team, obviously.
Alpha Team, or the Alpha Club. I've seen a lot of Alpha Club.
Yeah. Wick Forever said Dub Club. I like that.
Dub Club, like Dub Club?
Yeah. Jeffrey Elliott said Judas Society.
Ooh.
I kind of like that.
I think there was one, I'm looking at now, the Jera Crew. That's hilarious.
The Jera Crew. B. Alexor said the Mayhem Alliance. I like that. I actually really like
the Mayhem Alliance.
Yeah. Okay. This one, Wham, WAWN, said Bubbly Club. I think we kind of said something like that, but
that's like you can't take the team seriously if they're called the Bubbly Club.
Rufus Jones says Kings of 5 Stars.
Oh. I like this one. The Regime of Le Champion.
Le Champion.
That was by John Guzman's Corpse. A lot of people have Halloween names right now on Twitter.
It's pretty awesome. Lord Chaos said, wait for it. The Unforgiven.
Okay.
Oh, Wednesday Night Wrestling said Empire of Pain. I like that. That's
Empire of Pain. I see a lot of people say Jerichoholics too. I'm like, that would have been hilarious. I don't know if they can use that name though, because that could be a WWE trademark name.
Brain Dead said The Effect. That I feel like could go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Effect. Yeah, that could have been a decent name. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Shane says we We the Untouchables instead of the We the People. I
wow.
like that.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple of the save, like you said,
Yeah,
like
Disciples of Jericho. A lot of good names.
Yeah.
There was this guy, Top Rope Wrestling, but the Grumpy Gusses.
The Little King says,
I love the funny ones. I was just all about the funny ones.
Yeah, just another wrestling faction. That's pretty.
Oh, this was it. This is by Savage in the Trap. 4 boys and their dinosaur.
Oh, jeez.
With Jericho being the dinosaur.
Oh my god. Yeah. So. Oh god, James Packard said anti-elite.
Oh.
Pretty funny. But yeah, so thank you guys for your tweets.
Yeah, they
it
were
was
good.
Entertaining. I love when we put fan tweets out because we love getting you guys involved in this. So thank you for taking your time and joining us. Oh, do we have some in the chat? Triple threat at Full Gear. Okay, that's what Jesus says in the chat. I mean, or Jesus. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. The List of Jericho. He kept bringing up the list.
I thought he was gonna call it that.
The list.
I thought it was just gonna be called the list.
The list.
But as for this episode, we should be excited for the AEW Dark match that was announced, and that's Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela, and it looks like it's gonna be. I've seen a couple short clips. It looks like it's gonna be a hardcore match, so I'm excited for that. I hope all you enjoyed AEW Dark this week. From the 4 matches that I brought up in the preview show, it was really well done. I loved how the way they had Tony Schiavone in there. It was an hour of it. It got what it needed to do. It got over 500,000 views already on YouTube, which is really good.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen it, it's on AEW's YouTube channel. You can watch for free. Watch all the dark matches from last week. I thought they were pretty well done. We had you had Darby and Shima, the big 4 8-man tag team match, and SU versus the Jungle Express. I keep wanting to call them the Lucha Express. I don't know why. Because of Luchasaurus. So yeah, the AEW Dark this week. I wonder what the other matches are going to be, but obviously number 1, Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela in a hardcore match. That's sweet. Cannot wait for next Tuesday.
Yes. It's going to be Tuesday now, please. Please.
No, I have to wait a whole week.
No, but this is good because we're excited and we want to see it, and we're getting exactly what we want. And you know, a good wrestling, it goes by so quick. Those 2 hours went by so quick.
Yeah,
and
it's good.
I mean,
I'm excited for next week's episode.
So yeah. I think that's it for this episode, right?
Yep. Other than that, guys, tonight we're gonna be back. Myself and Tiff. We're not going anywhere tonight at 9 p.m. Join us back right here on YouTube for the Under the Ropes Under the Ropes show, where myself and Tiffany interview independent wrestlers. We have Joey Silver tonight.
Guys, if you haven't, send us questions for him for tonight, so we'll read them on the air. So make sure you follow the No Holds Barred Twitter account.
NHB Network. That's all you got to do. And then other than that, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode number 47 of the All Elite Podcast, right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your source for wrestling podcast content and more. Guys, tune in next week. We'll do our preview show and a review show for AEW next week, going to be in Philadelphia. A lot of good matches. Excited to see AEW Dark as well. We'll go over that in the next episode. Hopefully it's going to be out by then. But other than that, I'm your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, always joined by my co-host. She's the executive vice president of Giggles, the queen of the indies herself, Tiffany, and we'll see you guys next week for some more All Elite Podcast.
I don't know.